I'm at MMA Weekly. It's a website. I'm over here right now. This is one of the original websites. Dricus du Plessis versus Khamzat Chimaev will happen, but not at UFC 317. Now, you got to understand. That is nothing. I just gave you nothing. This is a headline at MMA Weekly. You have nothing. You are no smarter now. Dricus versus Chimaev will happen. And then it goes on to tell you when it won't happen. So you literally have learned nothing. It's very different if it tells you when it will happen. It tells you when it won't happen. No problem. Like, news is hard to come by sometimes. You got to work with the pieces you get. But that's the top story. UFC Kansas City main event weigh-in video. All right. So 2 guys in their underwear, and it's caught on video, and you could watch that. And a lot of people like to do that. Fair enough. That's not as big of a story as the non-story, which is the headline over it, but this is the order. Oh, here's a great one. UFC Kansas City results for weigh-ins. 1 fighter misses weight. Now, we don't know who. That's called clickbait. We have to click on it to see what fighter didn't make weight. That's interesting. That's fair game. That's how this is done. But that's still 4 turds in a punch bowl before I get to Amanda Nunes confirms her UFC return. So the return of the Lioness, easily the greatest fighter ever, soon to be Hall of Famer, not to mention a really outstanding human being, is 5 stories down, and it's 4 turds in a punch bowl that were rated to be better and bigger stories than her confirming a return, which again is nothing. Like, you don't actually have news. The day we found out that the sun came up and would heat the earth was a really helpful day. But the following day, it wasn't quite as big a news. And a week later of it doing the same, I mean, do you understand the point? She's confirmed that she's going to come back. Now, great. So I click on it and I read it. I'm a very big Amanda supporter. But we do need to have a couple of conversations here. Okay? And my biggest point to you guys is you did not love watching her fight when she fought. And you aren't dying for her to return now, which isn't my opinion. I just proved it. It's the 5th story down. On next to SureDog, I believe the oldest website that we have. I believe SureDog was first, and Ryan, rest his soul before the auto accident, started MMA Weekly. I believe. That's how I remember this. Her confirming a return is 5 stories down. It's under 2 dudes in their underwear. It's under a fight that's going to happen, but we won't tell you when. I mean, do you understand? It's under an unnamed fighter on a non-pay-per-view undercard who missed weight in Kansas City. Those aren't good signs. Now, Chael's not a hater. Like, if what you need in your life is fighting, there's a pretty good chance that we need to get you on a couch and we need to get a professional in the room and talk to you. That's not a good thing. If you ever meet somebody that tells you, this is what I was born to do, we have a problem. We have a very big problem. If you ever meet somebody that tells you, it's the only thing I know to do, we have a problem. And it's a big problem. Unless they're a golfer or they're a card player, that's a really big problem because you will have an expiration date. Now, if you're coming back for the money, okay, go ahead. There's not going to be a lot of it, because you don't have a lot of people that want to see you fight. Don't take it as an insult. You were so good, while being so nice, you created such little mystery in our mind of how the outcome would go, not to mention you created such little drama because you were such a decent person that in the fight business, there's not a lot for you here. And by the way, you're probably not going to be a main event in any scenario, though there is a way. And that way is you versus Kayla for a title at 135. Now, the problem is Kayla isn't the champion at 135. You're not signed to the organization. And as many times as you've confirmed the confirmation that you've confirmed, you've either entered the pool or you haven't. And shame on MMA Weekly. That is very lazy writing by MMA Weekly. To have somebody that parted ways so you could text Amanda and say, I'm with MMA Weekly and I just got to ask you a question. I sure am a big fan. Just so you can get a headline and not ask her, are you in the pool? When are you going to enter the pool? Why are you not in the pool? That's very lazy. And there is no return. But you got to understand this because it's not always nice. Nobody was tighter with the boss than Chuck. And Chuck did not choose to stop fighting. The boss had to have that talk with him. And Forrest. And Krokop. And I could keep going, but I won't. So the boss is looking at this and going, okay, there's one way to do it. And I don't mind doing it. I don't mind doing a one-off with you versus Kayla for the audience and just for history. Now, I would never do a one-off ever with anyone, including Khabib. It's just that you have absolutely no chance of winning. Nobody can come into the octagon that doesn't belong to a gym and win. And they never have. Nobody can come into the octagon that doesn't have a coach and win. And by the way, they never have. Nobody can take years away from a sport and cut down to a weight class that they barely made in their prime and win. And by the way, they never have. So I have absolutely no chance. I don't need to follow my own golden rule that I need 3 fights just in case you win. There is no chance that you will win. But if we're doing this for money, I can get you some. If we're doing this for any other reason, you're going to live in depression when this is over. If you're a true competitor and you're doing this from a competitive standpoint, when you come back, you are not going to like what you find. And I probably can't headline this. But I probably could put it on. I'm a little nervous too at 135 because you have a real hard time making that. And as people, we don't get smaller with time. And if you put all your focus into beating the scale, which you're going to have to do, you're not going to have a lot of time to train at the gym that you don't belong to under the tutelage of the coaches that you fired years ago. And Amanda hasn't done anything wrong. There is no fighter, myself excluded, there's no fighter that doesn't dream of coming back and of making that walk. And I feel it not only when I watch MMA, I feel it every 4 years when the Olympics come around. It's called Olympic fever. And I think, and I get these ideas. You just do. But if you want to have a little fun and you want to get your name out there, which is the only pleasurable thing about the sport, unless you're a masochist like Gene LaBelle that like genuinely likes hurting people like Stu Hart, some kind of a weirdo, then the part that you like is the media. And this is a great way to get it. But to have the media be so lazy to confirm a confirmation, did you enter the pool or not? And another question is, what are you doing this for? Because if you're doing this to get a run, great. Let's look at the roster where you belong. Considering you're not in the top 10, let's go find number 8 or 9. Let's get you into the top 10. And as a former champion, we can show you that respect, particularly as a double champion. And then let's work our way up and finally get to the one and only fight anybody wants to see. And they don't want to see it that bad, but they could co-main event see it, which is you and Kayla. And with a little bit of luck and a little bit of run, you show us that you still can do this and still can meet the scale. Maybe we could put you as a main event. Those are the hard facts. And that's not a mean reality for Amanda. Everything I just said to Amanda, I could have been saying about myself. It's true for us all. And I would have a hard time beating the scale at a weight class that I weighed 4 years ago. The same as her. Everything's the same. This is not a put down to Amanda. To make believe she could get the jump on Kayla, training at the gym that she currently trains at, which none of you for $1 million could produce the name of. None of you for $1 million could give me a geographical, even general location of where it's located. And none of you for $1 million could tell me who her coach is, because it's a trick question. She's the head coach of the gym. Nobody, not Floyd, not Serena, not Tiger, not LeBron, not Jordan, nobody can train themselves. The proposition is ridiculous, and MMA Weekly is lazy for having put the story out.